What's up, guys? Hope you're all having an amazing day. Welcome back to the channel. Well, there is this new episode that I have decided to start, and I used to do this on Film in Monochrome, the featuring accounts that I create. And as you guys know, I've mentioned on here in previous episodes or previous videos that now I'm part of the Restore from Backup creators, and I decided to bring over a show that I used to do on Film in Monochrome called hashtag SBTP, which is Story Behind the Photographs, which is a live show that I used to do where I will bring over a photographer that is in the community. They pick 5 photos that they would like to talk about and just share stories about the photos, and we just chat about them. So on Restore from Backup, when I decided to start this show on there, um, there is a photographer that I've really been enjoying her work ever since I came across just one photo that I was scrolling through. I think the feed of Restore from Backup. Actually, that is how I found her. Um, that I just stumbled upon it, and that got me so interested into going to check on her other work. Sorry, excuse me, her other work. And ever since then, I just been a huge fan of her work, and I was so honored to have her as the first guest on the story behind the photographs on Restore from Backup. So this video is just it's a long video, but I am very hopeful that you guys enjoy it. And there's nothing really, like, there's no structure, even though I try to kind of like structure it and just make it as short as I can. But these conversations are very great to have, and I really did enjoy. So I hope you guys enjoy it too. This is Story Behind the Photographs with Claudia. So I hope you guys enjoy it. I have been a huge fan of Claudia's work for a long time, and I have always been curious to know the story behind the photos that she's been creating. So when I thought about doing this, having this platform and letting you guys come on to share your work and also for us to know the story behind them, um, I decided to let Claudia be our first guest so that we can know all the story behind her amazing work. And as we go on, she has 5 works that she's going to be talking about. And as soon as she is done, if you guys have any questions, we will open the floor for you guys to ask the questions so Claudia can answer. If the question is to me, I will also answer the questions. And if you have any photo in Claudia's page that you would also like to know about, we can let you guys pick 3 to 5 photos based on the time. And then Claudia can talk about it. And then, yeah, I'm excited to have you. Thank you for for doing this.
Yeah, it's lovely that you invited me. Thank you. I'm Claudia. Hello.
Okay.
Well, I would try to do it in English. My English is a holiday English, and I have my friend with me. She's Johanna. She's in the background. Hi.
Hi,
She
Joanna.
will help me if something is not so good to understand. And sometimes, if it's difficult, I will answer in German, and then she will translate.
That is awesome. Well, it seems like we have a lot of people here who already love your work. So I'm very excited that we have some people here who already know your work and love it. And just as I'm curious to know the story behind them, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people here who would like to also know more about your work. But before we get to knowing more about your work, we would like to know more about you. So, if you don't mind telling us a little bit about yourself, and then I'll just throw in the question: when you started doing photography, and why the camera? There's a lot of medium of art. Why the camera? So, we would like
Why
to
the
know.
camera?
No, we first like to know more about you before we get to
Okay.
even the cameras.
Well, I studied art when when I was, my first art study was when I was 18 years old. No, 20 in Zurich. And this was the time when I met this lady also. And she
Oh,
started with me.
awesome.
We know each other for a very, very long time. And then I studied art in Munich too and in Berlin.
Okay.
And now I'm a little bit older. Uh, well, and my favorite subject was always photography. I'm always also painting, for example, or illustrating.
Mm-hmm.
But photography is something I did from the beginning. I think since I was 14 years old, or 15.
Oh, wow.
It was because my father was a photographer. He was a bookbinder, but in his
Okay.
heart he was a photographer. And he always had this camera with it. It's the same camera. So
Can we see the camera?
yes, it's from my father.
That is a legendary camera right there. The camera that went to see
He
the
gave it
moon.
to me, and while this is not the original one, the original one was stolen.
Oh, that's so
Well,
bad.
yeah, really. But when I was younger, I earned the money for a new one. It's also, I think, 30 years ago or longer. 30
Okay.
years ago. And this is a camera, for me, it's for my father. And
Right, right. It's a replacement to what he gave you.
yeah,
And it's amazing. I know a lot of people would love to see the work, but as photographers, sometimes once we hear gear, it's our mind just turn off, and that is all we want to talk about. But before we get to the work, it's amazing that you stick to the camera that your father gave you, because I personally, I started on a Hasselblad as my first medium format, and then now I don't even own it anymore. I have sold it and traded a lot of cameras, because sometimes you just want something new. But why did you choose to just stick with that?
well, honestly, I don't know. I think it's a love to my father.
That's the perfect answer. That is the perfect answer. Well, I'm not going to keep people waiting too long. I'm going to start sharing the work up here, and then we can get you talk about them. So the first image that I would want us to look at
Okay.
is one of my favorite photos of yours. It was the first photo that I saw from you that got me so curious to go on your page and then see the rest of the amazing work that you have, and then gave you a follow. So this is the photo right here, and I
Ah,
hope you guys can see it. If you can see it, gives me a thumbs up. Is it very clear? Is it, is there too much light over it? Anyway, yeah, like I was saying, this is one of my favorite photos of yours. Very candid. I love the colors. I love the composition. I love the expression. Um, oh my God, you have a print of it. This is amazing.
I
This is
have it.
amazing.
I don't have every, but this one I have.
Okay, so tell us about this photo.
Well, I try it in English, okay?
Okay.
Um, it is my daughter, which I adopted because we are two women, and we are living together for now 20 years? No, not 13 years. And Emilia has a father, and he's living in America.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
yeah, that's awesome. And this father, we visited him the first time in America. She knows him very well, but normally he comes to Germany.
Okay.
But it was 2 years, 3 years ago. We went Easter. I think it's interesting. It's the same time, 3 years ago, Easter.
Oh,
We flew to America the first time to San Francisco, and he showed us all the spots in Los Angeles and in San Diego, and we flew also to Palm Springs. And I think the special thing in the photo is that my daughter was really very, well, I don't know, she was happy inside. It was her first holiday with her father in 2 weeks, so a long time. And they love each other, and they don't see each other very often, but they have a heart thing together.
right, right.
And I think well, the father is just behind her, and there's also a photo of him and her. I posted. What I think I posted it one day, but I don't know. But well, and I think and the light in Palm Springs. Well, it was
Yeah,
but
California light is amazing.
I think the special thing in this photo is not the light and not the pool. It's just the amazing look on her face. So she's like in heaven.
Okay. Yeah, I totally got the vibe, and like I said, it was the first photo that I seen from you that got me so curious. And maybe somebody might think, what is it about the photo? But it's just something that you feel. Photos give us the feeling, and once you feel something about somebody's photo, that's all you need. And that is all that I got from looking at this photo that got me curious about the rest of the work that this photographer that took this photo has. And I am so glad that when I went to your page, it wasn't just this one, but then there was more other amazing photos that you have made. And so I'm going to flip this back around. Sorry, guys, you have to see my face again. Um, but yeah, that is an amazing photo, and I am glad that it is the first photo that we are talking about, because you just mentioned it is 3 years ago exactly when you were in
I think
America. And
we had Easter in Palm Springs. Yeah, we had
that
Easter
is
in Palm Springs. It was quite a few days before. Yeah.
that is amazing. That is really really amazing. Somebody People were just curious in the comments, what film you shot this on.
Kodak. Um, Kodak 400 Portra.
Portra 400,
Yeah.
the people's favorite. I feel like
But
Portra.
I wanted
Yeah,
to try Fuji now.
come
I don't
again.
know. I just wanted to try Fuji now.
You want to try Fuji now,
Yeah.
just because it's been discontinued?
Well, I think Kodak is so many. The colors are special and you see it.
Right.
But the thing is, what happens if you don't see it?
So just the mystery behind Fuji is what you want to try it for.
Yeah, I thought about that.
Yeah, that is awesome. Well, since you've already talked about the camera and the one camera that you only use, I think everybody will get it now that the one camera that you shoot or you took these photos on are the Hasselblad 500 cm. So we won't talk about that much, but I'm trying to pull up the second image here, for us to talk about, um, here in a bit. Um,
I'm excited which one it is.
so the second image, after seeing it after you sent it to me, also very amazing, and already I want to know so much about it. And I flip
Me
it
too.
right now, right here.
Oh, weird.
So tell us about this photo.
It was. Well, I'm living in at the lake, Starnberger Lake, in Bavaria, and this is in Tutzing, where I live. Was okay. I tried. It was. I was waiting at the ferry for a friend of mine,
Okay.
and it was. I didn't see her for years, so I was very excited how she's looking, and is she? Yeah, and I was waiting there on a bank, and it was just a very small moment. Then I saw this couple, and I don't know them at all. I never saw them again, and I had my camera with me. I don't know why. I often have it with me, and normally you are very quick with the camera. With a Leica, for example, you are very quick, but with this
Right.
Hasselblad, you're not very quick. And I saw it, and I was like, I have to make a photo. And I did only one photo, and very quick. And it was just it. Yeah, I can't explain it. And I knew that it is a very good picture if it works. And when I saw the film, I was so excited, and then I saw it, and I was also like you. It's one of my favorites.
It's definitely now one of my favorite too as well. And like you mentioned, having your camera with you all the time, or at least most of the time, is really great, because if you didn't have your camera with you, you would have missed this moment. And the fact that you had it with you, and being a Hasselblad, and you being able to get the exposure right and focus right, because I have tried doing like street photography with the Hasselblad before, and it wasn't easy. Just like trying to focus. Uh, um, it's not a camera that people even talk about zone focusing on it. So it is very beautiful. It is very great. I love the love in the photo. Like these two people seem to be in love. And
Yeah.
and that is what this whole photo is about. And I love that you balanced it with the pole that they are standing beside, and it's not just like them. And then also the view of the mountains that they are looking at, it's just amazing. It feels like we are there with them, looking at this view and experiencing it as they are experiencing it too. So that is a beautiful photo. Thank you so much for sharing. um,
Yeah, I think the special thing is that on the right there is the what's the name from the looking in the you can look through it and then you see the mountains very very clear, and it's the same direction. It's telescope,
okay.
a telescope, and they're looking in the same direction, but they don't look through it, and so it's like there's another one who's looking in the same direction, the telescope and the couple, and
That is
and
amazing.
and the closest are like in another century a little bit, but it's so funny. The closest are so well, yeah.
Right. Yeah, I love it. I love it. It's amazing. And the water, the mountains, the view, everything about this photo is just amazing. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing it. I don't want to ask if anybody has any more questions yet, but if you have any question about this photo specifically, or anything else, we can ask Claudia later. Let's pull up the next image, so that
Oh,
we
one more.
we talk about it. We have three more to go, and I'm
Okay.
excited. I'm excited. The more you're explaining it, the more excited I'm getting to even know more about the rest of it. So
Okay.
this photo I saw on your page, and I was just so curious. I was like, why this photo?
Which one?
How amazing it is. Why is somebody shirtless in a frozen lake?
Oh, this is Robert. Robert. It's a friend of mine. And why is someone standing in a frozen lake? Well, Robert has two pains in it. Well, he has a lot of pain to. He cut his finger years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and he has this phantom pain. He has his phantom pain, for example, and he has headache, migraine, which is the name is I think migraine is migraine? If you have headache all the time.
Migraine.
Migraine. And he years ago, I think 10 years ago, when it happens, and the migraine also, he found out that swimming in cold water is good for the pain. So he decided to swim every day in cold water, and he has no pain.
That is
And
very
you
interesting.
can imagine that if you have pain every day, then you are very brave. And cold water is, well, cold water.
Right.
And I started the winter swimmer, my winter swimmer series. I started this winter the first time,
Mm-hmm.
and I went also every day in the lake, but only I jumped in and went out. But Robert swims not too long, and on this day I went to make. I said I want to make a photo of you, and I went to the, what is the name, Steg. You go into the into the lake, and it's wood, and you can go in the lake.
Right.
Just a wooden web. A
Okay.
Steg web. Well, okay. I went, and it was minus 14 degrees, not degrees Celsius.
Celsius.
It was minus 14. The air and
Wow.
the water was, I think, around 0, 1 or 2. And Robert swam, and after a while, there were 2 other men with him, and it was so quick because I had the Hasselblad, and I'm not a photo reporter, and I was like, he saw that I have difficult to get a picture of him.
Right.
And then he, just for me, after the swim, he went to this place, and then he looked at me, and he stood there for 70 seconds, long enough to make the photo. And it was his decision to do that for me. And
wow.
I was like, thank you.
Thanks to him. Yeah, because I was, and thank you so much for sharing that, because when I saw this photo, to be honest with you, I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was funny, seeing somebody in a frozen lake, because I wouldn't personally do that, and like everybody in the comments, I just sending the frozen emoji. Yeah, it's. I cannot even think about it being in a frozen lake, you know. So for him to be in it, and for you to take the photo, for him to allow you to take the photo, because this is a vulnerable moment, you know. He was vulnerable for you, and it makes me really appreciate the work even more. I mean, I loved it. I appreciated the fact that you've shared it to us. But just hearing the story behind it makes me really, really appreciate it more. And thanks to him for allowing you to take these photos. And sometimes when we photographers go out there and we see people, it takes a lot of courage to go to them and ask them for a photograph. So kudos to you for being able to go and ask for the photograph, and then thanks to him for letting you take the photograph. And then thank you so much for sharing that, because this is not a story that a lot of people will tell, you know. So we really appreciate you sharing the story, and I'm sure people in here do appreciate it as well. But yeah, this is a great photo, and we're going to jump onto the next photo real quick.
One more.
I think we have 2 more to go.
Oh, I think I have 300 on my page.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm very excited and curious to know about this one too. Here we go.
Okay. Oh, yeah, okay.
When I first saw this photo, I love the expression. It feels like, and corrects me if I'm wrong. It feels like somebody you know who is like very comfortable around you, because the smile on the face, the expression is so genuine and so pure, and the eyes is just, the glossiness of the eyes is just so inviting, and I just love this photo, and I would like to know about it.
Well, honestly, I didn't know her when I visited her. I visited her because this was for a project I do. An old lady. I visited her, and we made an interview, and we talked together. And she's very open-minded, and she's very old. She has 5 children, and she's a special person because the lightning. She's a kind of what do you say?
Say it in German, so Johanna can.
Ja, sie ist eine sehr spirituelle Person, a spiritual person, und sie macht macht mit Frauen auch, sie gibt Kurse mit Frauen in der Natur. Now, well, I think Johanna just has to help her.
Okay.
she does it.
She's a very special person because she's got women groups where she spiritually works in nature.
Okay.
In spring, in autumn, and she's got special places where the groups come together, and she's like almost enlightened. She's over 80, I think. She's
85, and she has 5 children.
Wow.
Her life she dedicated to spiritual work with stones and with spirals, and with she's really into and you notice it in the photo, and you notice it in the work Claudia did with her.
Yeah, I did lots of photos from her because of the project, and it was for a few weeks. I met her, and the same in the picture. The same happened with me. When you see the picture, something happens with you because you see she knows the one who photographs her, but she doesn't know me not at all. But she likes me. I think I was friendly, but she was so open, and I made not so many portraits from her because always if I do a job with a Hasselblad, for example, it's very expensive for me, and so I don't shoot many photos. I just shoot a few, and this is like a wonder if it works, and with her it worked unbelievable.
Yeah, this is amazing, and for this one I'm going to flip this around real quick because when I before I asked you to talk about it, I was saying that it is somebody you knew, and hearing about the story behind it makes sense right now for me, with her being somebody who is so welcoming, because like I said, the look in her face, it feels like somebody that you can go to, somebody you can easily go to and have a chat with. And the fact that it was a project, the fact that it was somebody that you had just met, and the fact that this woman is such an amazing woman for what she is doing for other women, that is very great. And I feel like we need more people like that in the world, and we need more photographers like you in the world that will be able to capture moments like this. And for her age and for the life that she's lived and living, we just ask more blessings on her. And thank you so much for sharing this story, and very, very powerful image. I feel like the way I stare at it, it feels like she's staring back at me, and right now it feels like I'm having the chat with her instead of you.
Yes, and even if she's 85, and I think in the face it's like a child. It's like open like a child.
Right.
It's unbelievable. She's looking like a small child in the picture.
That is amazing. Thank you so much for sharing this. We really do appreciate it. Really, really do appreciate it. Well, we have one more photo to go, and then we will have the audience ask any question that they would like to ask, either to you or to me, which I don't expect more to be with me because it's not my day today. Today is all about Claudia. And I'm I'm glad that you chose this photo because it seemed a little bit different from all the photos that we've talked about. So I'm very curious to know why this random photo in the midst of the ones that we've talked about, and not keeping anybody more curious. This is the image that I'm talking about. And yeah, it is very beautiful. The light is just amazing. The contrast is amazing. But tell us about it. Why this photo in the midst of all the amazing portraits that you've shared with us?
Well, this is one of the photos I don't understand why they exist. I don't have so many photos you think about, like with the couple, the couple photo.
Mm-hmm.
I knew in this moment, I knew this is a good photo. This could be a very good photo. This moment, it was in Zine in Switzerland. It's a long time ago. I think 20 years ago.
Oh wow!
And and I had my camera with me. We went on a hike, and we went back, and I had the Hasselblad with me, and it was in the evening, and it was dark. It was not, and normally I can't do it out of the hand.
Mm-hmm.
I can with a small objective with the 80
Mm-hmm.
millimeter.
Right.
I can shoot 250. 250. I have to hold it,
Right.
and it was 30.
Wow.
Probably. And I don't know. It's sharp, and the moon is in the middle, and I don't know how it happened because I only made one photo. I saw it, and I was like, I have to do a photo now, and at the same time, I thought it's not possible because I didn't have a stativ,
Tripod.
a tripod. I didn't have a tripod or something, and I didn't plan to do this photo. It was just in the moment, and I thought I have to do it. And then when I saw the picture, I was like, okay, it's special. And I saw it years ago. It was in my Schublade, in my drawer. In my drawer. It was just in my drawer for years. And then one day I saw it and I was like, okay, I should look at it.
That is really amazing. Yeah, talking about making photos like spontaneously. I think it takes a really good eye like yours and a very great photographer to be able to see pictures like this and like in the moment be able to make photos, which leads me into my next question of, do you use light meter or do you just guess your exposures?
Light meter is for the well, I have one. I have an expensive one.
Okay.
But no, well, years ago I lost the battery, and I don't use it. And I think it's too quick. When I use it if I go if I have to do it for a job, then I use it.
Okay.
But if it has to be very quick, so for example, with when I was on the
lake,
and I come back, I don't use it. I
Okay.
just know in my head what I have to do, and sometimes most of the time it works.
Wow.
Otherwise, it's expensive.
Well, that is a skill to have, because as much as I think sometimes I can guess exposures, I'm just always all over the place, and most of the time I'm able to guess it when there is sun,
Yeah.
But in this situation, you don't have a sun; it's the moon.
This was not possible to do it like that. It was not possible without something where the camera is fixed, and I don't know why it worked. I don't know it.
It was, well, then this photo was meant to be. It was meant to be. Yeah, it is a really really great photo, and I'm so glad that you added that to the set. That makes us see the diversity in your work and the kind of photographer that you are. Like, if you are in any situation, that you are able to make good images. And yeah, thank you so much for sharing this, and really really hearing the story behind your photos. Like I said, anytime I see good work, anytime I see good photographs, anytime I get to meet any good photographer, I'm more curious about the stories behind the photos and why they make them. And hearing them now just makes me really really gives you all the maximum respect. I've taken off my hat. Much respect to you. And I know that there is a lot of people in here that really appreciate you. um ah this is amazing. So I know you've showed us two prints. Do you darkroom print them, or do you print them on inkjet?
Darkroom.
That is amazing. And you do it yourself?
Well, I did when I was younger and in study, but now I'm giving it away because I don't have the time and the money, because I don't have the room and the time. But
Okay.
I pay for it sometimes.
Okay.
And sometimes if someone wants to buy one, then it's better. Then I
Right.
can do it because it's so expensive.
Right. Well, yeah, thank you so much for doing this. Thanks for your time. Thanks for sharing all those stories. I know some of them are very personal, and then you've shared them with us, which I really appreciate that. If there is anybody in here that have any question to ask to Claudia to ask about this whole show, um, you are free to ask now. You can use the question tab that is on the side, so we all can see it instead of in the comments. But also, I'll be going through the comments, and if there is any question in there, I will read it out. So for now, maybe there will be a little bit of silence whilst we look through the comments and stuff like that. I saw some people that were typing in German, but because I cannot speak German or read it, I didn't know what they were saying. So if you could go in a little bit and see if any of them were questions.
I see it. Hello, Claudia. Good to see you and hear you. This is English moment.
Right. If you go up a little bit.
Really cute. This is English. I look after German, okay?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Look for only the Germans.
Oh, so many. So many. Look. Oh, they're all watching? Okay. Frage. Do you have any tip for asking strangers for their portrait?
Okay, so that's our first question. Rachel wants to know if you have any tips for her.
Well, Rachel, yes. Be yourself and be very friendly. And it helps a lot to have a very old camera because they don't know that it is a camera. They think it's something from another time. And then it's, very friendly and direct. And then I ask. I say, well, is it possible? I'm an artist and I would love to make a photo. And sometimes it works, sometimes not. But,
That is the best. That is the best answer to that question. Yeah, most of the time I feel like I know how to approach people on the street, but sometimes it's very intimidating. But I think Claudia, you've said it very well. Just be yourself, and then be straightforward. And I like that you mentioned that having that camera, because film cameras just raise questions. It makes people feel very comfortable. I remember I was on the street one time and I approached a guy to take his photo, and he seemed like he wasn't going to let me. And so he asked, "What are you going to do with them?" And I genuinely said, "I don't know. It could be in a book someday. I could put it in a show someday. But for now, I don't know why. I just think you look great, and I just wanted to photograph you." And so when I left my camera app, and I told him the only unfortunate thing is I wouldn't be able to show you now because it is film. And he went, "Oh wow, it's film?" And I said, "Yeah." And then he said, "I didn't know people still use these." And then we started, he started opening up, and we both started laughing, and then he said, "Sure, yeah, take the photo." So that is one advantage of shooting film, which will be my personal next question. But we have two more questions in here.
Okay.
Let's take a look at them, and then we can go on to the next one. So I will read it, and then you can also read it, but I'll read it out loud. What is your favorite subject to photograph? You have such a wide range. So parallax.
Well, I love water. There are a lot of water pictures and persons, but sometimes I think I'm better in composition.
Okay.
But I don't have a really favorite one. I have the big range. It's just the moment.
Right.
And people. Well, people are people are important.
Yeah, that is.
People are.
I think it's mostly sometimes we love something deeply that we don't have words to explain it. And and I think sometimes, as much as people like the question asks, what are your favorite subjects, for me, I will also say people because that is mostly what I like to photograph. I love nature, but I don't see myself as somebody who does nature photography. But once I go into nature and I see something that is beautiful, I make photograph of it. So yeah, thanks for the question, and I hope that Claudia was able to answer you, and that you got the answer you wanted. Is there anything you wanted to add, Claudia?
Yes, for example, architecture is so difficult. You need so much. So, for example, architecture is something I'm not so good in.
Right.
I can't. Well, you need too much equipment for it.
Right.
But landscape and water and people.
Awesome. Well, we have one more question in here. And the Night Vault wants to know if you edit your scans, and that your colors are really beautiful.
Edit means that I do something with it?
Yeah.
No. I just give it to the scan.
Mm-hmm.
Scanning thing, it's always a little bit too green for me, and then I put a little bit green out. But I don't like to do too much with the photos because it's the scanning thing is that it's possible to post them.
Right.
But normally I don't do anything with the photos. I love the prints. Just
Right.
the poor photo.
Right, which is something I encourage. I don't do darkroom printing yet. Recently I've been very curious about it, and starting to look into it more. And if hopefully I had the space, maybe I would have gotten myself an enlarger to play with. But I have an inkjet printer that I use, and I tell people all the time, even if you shoot film and you don't have the means to go into a dark room, it's okay to print on an inkjet. But printing in the dark room, I know it's an experience that once you shoot film, you should have, and hopefully one day I'll be able to get into the dark room and do some myself. So thanks for the inspiration, and thanks for answering that question. We have one more question here. Um, Paul would like to know what your favorite focal length is.
Oh, you mean
The lens, yeah. What lens do you like to shoot with? Which one is that?
I have only three. The 80 millimeter. This one is 150, I think.
Okay.
The 150.
Okay.
I have 80 millimeter, 150, and I have also at 35.
Okay.
Which this one and these three, I love them all. For example, I have also. I lost it.
Oh, so you have something to cover it up.
This is 35.
Okay.
And
So which one do you love using?
No, I love the 80 millimeter most of all because this is the picture I see.
Right.
And the 150 is amazing for portraits. For example, Helge, the old lady.
Yeah. The lens you use.
Yes, and this is more interesting. For example, Robert is 35 millimeter, I think. I don't know, but I think I remember that it was a small.
Right. It's a little bit wider. Yeah, that is amazing. Like I was mentioning, I've owned the Hasselblad before, and I had the 50 and the 150. And anytime I wanted to use the 80, I always borrow it from my friend, which is very very amazing. And like you were saying, with the square format, I feel like the 80 is the kind of normal focal length, because I have this camera here that I use, and it has the 80 on it, and I love it so much. So I think for the square format, the 80s are really great for it.
Yeah.
So I hope, Paul, your question was answered. There is no more question in here. If there is any photograph in Claudia's page that you would like to know about, this is the time. We have just about 5 minutes to get this done. So whilst the people go on your page and try to find a photo that they would like to know about, I would like to say thank you again so much for doing this. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for all the stories that you've shared with us, and I really, really do appreciate you. and thanks to you.
Wants to come in front of the camera, my daughter.
Oh yeah, sure.
Because she's happy and she asked.
Hello, I love your photo. I love the photo of you. What's
Can you speak English?
Yes.
Yes.
what's your
Can you
name?
photo in swimming pool?
Thank you.
What's your name?
Emilia.
Emilia, my name is Edmund. Nice to meet you on here.
Nice to meet you too.
Well, we are talking about how amazing your mom is and how inspiring her work is, and we love the work that she's creating, and specifically for me, how I found her work and how I found the amazing body of work that she's created is the photo she took of you in the pool. And so thank you so much for that moment.
That's bedankt für den Moment.
Ich weiß.
Yes, she understood you.
Okay. Okay. We have one more question here, and this will be the last question. Oh, they said it's not a question, it's a compliment. Your Instagram story is an art gallery. I see it every day. Well, thank you, Albert, for
Thank you.
that, and we appreciate that. Um,
Albert. Albert. Thank you, Albert.
yeah, we have. I think it was the same person, but they've written German.
Wow, Emil Luisa, bald kommst du uns besuchen.
Ja, ich.
She has to go now. She has to eat something.
Okay, no problem. Thanks for joining us.
Wow, Emilia Luisa, bald kommst du much besuchen. Art von Vista Studio. I don't know. Probably she's going to be a model. No.
Was that a question to your daughter?
My daughter has to eat. She's now eating. Thank you for adding me to your story. This is nice too. Of course. Of course, I do that. Well, this is one thing I want to say. I love my story because of your photos. I do that only because I love photos. I don't do it. I just see the photos and I want to post them. And it's just because I'm always impressed how many wonderful people doing wonderful photographs all over the world.
Well, yeah, that is so nice of you, and that is one of the reasons why we created this platform, because there is just so much amazing work out there, and we all want everybody to see our work, but then sometimes it's just so hard that we feel like nobody is seeing our work. So I'm very honored to be part of this platform, this community that we are able to share people's work for thousands and thousands of people to know about. And through that and through Instagram, knowing you and finding your work and the amazing work that you're doing, and the fact that you are also sharing other people's work on your own personal platform, that is really amazing. I'm going to ask one more question, which is a personal question that I wanted to ask, and then we will wrap up. Um, I know we've been talking about the camera and the film that you've been shooting with, but at some point, people stopped shooting film and went to digital, but you stick with film all this while. Why is it that you shoot only film?
Well, I also shoot sometimes digital, but only for jobs.
Okay.
And probably it's because not for so many jobs. Probably it's because I love it so much. I can't. The digital thing is not in my heart. It's not a hard thing.
Right.
The hard thing is my hustle, and I think I'm better with it.
Okay.
I'm better with this than with the digital. Others are better. I see in Instagram. I see pictures, amazing pictures, shooting with digital. Say the word.
Digital cameras.
Digital cameras.
And I can shoot with them, but the art is better. The pictures are better.
Right.
I don't know why. Probably because I love the click and that I only have a few.
Right.
It's like I only have a few, 12 pictures, and everyone is very expensive. And,
Right.
and you have to be very brave to say, okay, forget it, just do it.
Right.
It costs money, but do it.
Just do it. Well, that is amazing. Thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate your time. This has been a wonderful chat, and hopefully we can have you back when you've created more body of work, and also anytime that you have any other strong images that you would like to talk about in the future, you are totally welcome to do so, and then we can jump on here and always talk about it. I love doing this. I love knowing about people's work, and I'm sure the people in here really did enjoy this chat. I hope. So thank you to Johanna for the time and help and helping along.
My oldest friends. She's from Zurich. I met her in Zurich studying art.
That is
So
awesome.
we know each other, I think, 30 years now. 30 years.
Oh wow. Wow, that is amazing. Well, I'm going to let you guys go, and then I know it's around like 9 p.m. now, and you probably wanna do some stuff that you have to do or go to bed or sleep. It is currently 3 p.m. here, and I feel like my day is just starting. So thank you again for the chat.
Thank you.
Thanks to everybody that joined. Appreciate it. If there is anything you would like to say before we leave, if you have a website where people can go see more of your work, if you have any project coming up, any book,
Yes,
anything.
advertising. Well, my website is just will be I think another month, and then it's ready. I'm doing it because
Okay.
well, now it's someone does it for me.
Okay.
So when it's ready, I will tell you.
Please let me know, and I will be glad to share it.
Okay, thank you very
All right.
much.
Thank you.
for
Thanks,
the
everybody.
invitation, and thank you all the followers who are online now. Still,
Yep.
it's wonderful. Thank
Yep.
you very much.
No problem. Enjoy the rest of your day and have a good night.
Good night.
Bye bye.
Day.
All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you made it this far, I really do appreciate you. If you did enjoy it, please hit the thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, because I have more episode like this coming. This is a new series that I'm going to be starting on here. I'll do the chat live on Restore from Backup with any photographer that will come on. And if you would like to watch it live and don't have to come back on YouTube and watch it, go give Restore from Backup a follow. And whenever there is going to be a live, you will be notified to come join the chat and watch it live. But if you do miss the live, you always know you can come back on here and watch it. So yeah, that is the chat I had with Claudia. I really, as you guys can see, I really genuinely did enjoy the chat. I really appreciated her work and the stories that she shared with us. Go give her a follow. Go say hi. Tell her I sent you. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next video. Hopefully soon. So until then, go hit the streets. Be safe out there. Create some beautiful photos and inspire us. Maybe someday I'll be chatting with you about the stories behind your photos. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Until then, create to inspire.